The Huawei Mate 80 series has been generating buzz for quite some time, with fans eagerly waiting to see how it will stack up against the competition, especially the upcoming iPhone 17 lineup. For a while, many expected Huawei to stick to its usual strategy of launching the Mate series around the same time as Apple's iPhone, setting the stage for another high-profile clash in September 2025. However, fresh reports now suggest that Huawei might change direction this year by moving the Mate 80 launch to the fourth quarter of 2025. This new timeline could be a strategic move. By pushing the release to Q4, Huawei might be aiming to avoid a direct confrontation with Apple's iPhone 17, which is traditionally launched in September. Instead of fighting for attention during Apple's spotlight moment, Huawei might take the opportunity to dominate headlines in a quieter period. It's not the first time the company has adjusted its launch schedule. Just last year, the Mate XT Trifold was released around the same time as the iPhone 16, giving consumers a completely different kind of device to consider. A reliable source on Weibo Digital Chat Station has provided an interesting update about the upcoming Mate 80 series. According to the tipster, Huawei is currently testing 2.5D flat screens across all Mate 8 models. This would be a notable change, especially considering Huawei's previous preference for curved displays in its premium lineup. The shift to flat screens could mark a significant design evolution, with punch hole designs potentially being more noticeable than before. What's even more interesting is that this flat screen trend isn't just limited to the Mate 80. Huawei may also adopt this approach across the upcoming Pura 90 series as well as its mid-range and entry-level devices. This signals a broader shift in Huawei's design philosophy, one that moves away from curved panels and embraces a flatter, more modern aesthetic. Now, back to the Mate 80's expected launch. While earlier reports hinted at a September release to compete with the iPhone 17, these new insights point to a Q4 debut possibly around October to December 2025. If that turns out to be accurate, it would be the first time in years that Huawei avoids going head-to-head with Apple's flagship devices. Since 2022, the two companies have seen their flagship devices, like the Mate 50 and iPhone 14, battle it out in the same launch window. A Q4 release would allow Huawei to generate its own buzz without having to split consumer attention with Apple. However, there's still a lot that remains unclear. Launch plans often shift based on internal strategies, production timelines, or market conditions. So while this delay is currently being speculated, Huawei could still adjust its schedule if needed. It's also possible that Huawei is planning something completely different to rival the iPhone 17, perhaps another unique product like the Mate XT. Another example of a delayed Huawei launch this year is the Pura 80 series. Initially expected earlier in the year, it is now anticipated to be unveiled in June 2025. That series is said to focus on new camera capabilities, continuing Huawei's tradition of pushing boundaries in mobile photography. As for the Mate 80 series itself, we're expecting a variety of screen sizes to cater to different users. According to reports, Huawei may include two smaller models with 6.3-inch and 6.5-inch displays, appealing to users who prefer more compact phones. On the other hand, the larger variants may come with 6.7-inch and 6.8-inch displays, featuring ultra-narrow bezels for a sleek and immersive look. This balanced approach gives customers plenty of choice, whether they're after portability or a larger viewing experience. The decision to adopt a flat screen across the entire Mate 80 lineup, combined with the different screen size options, give Huawei a strong edge in design flexibility. It also shows that the company is actively listening to market trends and consumer preferences, which have started favoring flat screens again in recent years. At the end of the day, while the Huawei Mate 80 series may not go head-to-head with the iPhone 17 in terms of launch timing, it's shaping up to be a major release in its own right. With a refined design, a possible shift away from curved displays, and a staggered release schedule for its other flagships like the Pura 80, Huawei seems to be playing a smarter game this year, choosing precision and product focus over rivalry. Whether or not Huawei sticks to this Q4 timeline remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the Mate 80 series is going to be a key part of Huawei's 2025 strategy. And as always, we'll be keeping a close eye on every leak, announcement, and official teaser as it comes. So stay tuned.